this is Annie. I hope you all are doing great tonight. And tonight I'm going to show you how to do this quick reptilian manicure. So let's start with the items I have used. And these are what we'll be using for the manicure tonight. I have some pure acetone, my roller tape brush to clean that stamper with. For my nail polishes, I have my stamping polish, my base coat. I have a holographic brown. It's actually 3 different shades of this. It's brown into red into gold. And I also have almost like a peach pearl finish look here. I have my stamping plate, my scraper, and my stamper, some jewels to decorate that accent nail with, a pair of tweezers that I will be using for my latex. I also have some cotton on my cotton cloth to clean that stamping plate with, a cleaner brush to clean around my fingers when I'm done, a wax pencil to pick up those jewels. If you don't have this, go ahead and keep a tweezer ready to pick those jewels up. And for my gradient, I will be using the eyeshadow sponge here. But if you don't have this, go ahead and use a makeup sponge or a stamping sponge like this. That's fine. So now that we have everything at hand, let's get started. So before we start our gradient work, I would like to go ahead and put that big old stud on my accent nail. But just to let you know, I've already gone ahead, and as you can see, I've painted my nails in my base color. And the base color I've actually used tonight is called Canary Cool number 950, and it's from Maybelline Color Show. So that's the color. It's almost like an eggshell white or a cream. And I've put 2 coats of that, and that's completely dried, and that's what you want to do. And the next step is I am going to go ahead and apply a nice thick layer of my fast drying top coat to that nail where I'm going to lay that stud on. And since this is one of the bigger studs, I am going to go ahead right after and apply a very, very generous layer of that top coat around it. So once you have that in place, just tap it down or press it down. Make sure it's nice and secure in there. And I'm going again in with, if you could see this, it's really loaded with top coat, but I'm going right over that jewel this time and kind of making sure that it's going to lock it in. And that's what you want to do here. And if you do it correctly, it lasts for quite a long time. And at the end of the manicure, I'll come back again and we will do another layer of top coat on that. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and start our gradient. And tonight for the gradient, I will be using my nail polish from Finger Paints, and this one is called Surreal Sunset. And I don't know how well you guys could see it, but it's really, really pretty. It's a combination of gold and red and bronze in here. So this is really, really nice for the reptilian look that I'm going for tonight. And the gradient work that I'm doing tonight, I'm not going to be using a makeup sponge or my stamping sponge like I usually do. I am actually going to be using one of these little eyeshadow sponge, because while I was doing it on the swatch stick, I found out that this was the best way to do it, because I wanted the middle of this here to have more nail polish than the sides. So this is the little thing I'll be using tonight for my gradient. And I'm also going to be doing it a little differently. Usually I put it on the sponge and then I kind of move it around. Tonight I'm actually going to put it on my nail and move it around. So here we go. I'll start with the pinky, and I'm going to make a nice straight line down the middle, but I also have a lot of polish on that nail, as you can see. And then I'm going to just take the sponge and kind of just shift it around to get rid of that line that you see from the nail polish. That's all I want to do, is just get rid of that line if I can. And I want to leave the sides a little more where you could see that base coat than just the top there. So I'll go ahead and I'll do just a little more this time, not so heavy, right in the middle, even a thinner line. and that should be enough. I don't want to go in and put too much of this color in that nail tonight. And the reason for that is because I'm stamping with brown and I don't want them to kind of get lost into each other. So if you could see, this is what it is. It doesn't look like a lot now, but at the end, when you put your top coat on it and the stamp goes on it, this is what it looks like. And I'll give you better shots of these in between so you could actually see the actual reptilian stamping that I'm going to be using tonight on that. It almost looks like a snake skin, so that's what I was going for. So let me continue doing the rest for the next 3 nails, and then we will move on to the stamping. We are done with the gradient, and as you can see, it's not perfect. There are some heavy lines showing through here, but that's quite okay because once you apply that top coat that almost looks like a pearl finish, that pretty much disappears, especially after you do the stamping on there. So this is ready. We can go ahead and stamp on it. It's nice and dried already, believe it or not. And the plate I will be using tonight to stamp on is from my BCN collection, and this is plate number BCN 0004, and I am using that snake image right here. And I am using my transparent stamper, even though I'm not actually going to line it up this way, but I like the texture of this. This is why I'm using this stamper tonight. It's nice and sticky, and of course my favorite scraper. The color I am stamping with is my Born Pretty Brown, and I believe this is number 10 if you're looking at it, and it's almost a cross between a brown and a red. Here it almost looks like a chocolate brown on the computer, but once you lay it on the the image plate here and you scrape it, then it more looks like a red, but it's beautiful. It works really well with this nail polish here. So let's get started on the stamping. And again, these polishes here that I have, they're highly pigmented. They're made for stamping, so they're great polishes, so you don't need to use a whole lot. So I'll just go ahead, apply that, scrape it down, pick my image up. There it is, nice and clean. And then I am going right over, I'm lining it up as best as I can, and I'm actually pressing the nail down into the stamper, pushing it all the way down. You can line this up the other way if you'd like. That's perfectly fine. And there's the image right there. Let me bring that up a little bit. There it is. So you can already see that effect of the reptilian print coming out, the snake print coming out there. So let's continue to do that for the next 3. Alright guys, now that we're done with the stamping, the next thing I'm going to do is remove that latex before we go on ahead and apply the top coats. And the reason for that is when you're removing your latex and you have stamping images on it, these little nail polishes actually flake up and they fall back onto the nail. So it's always best to remove your latex or your peel, whatever you have with you, just remove that before you go ahead and put the top coats on, okay? So I'm just double checking my images here, pressing down anything that might be lifted, and then I'm going to go around the nail and remove that latex. And I went back to using the latex because I realized that even though I was moisturizing my cuticles and around the nails, after I use my cleanup brush, they tend to get very, 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 very dried out, and they started cracking up on me. So I will be using the latex a little bit more this time. The last couple of videos I did not use the latex, and I do have some damages done to my cuticles and around the nails where it's just really, really dried out. So this does help protect that just a little bit. And as you can see, once you remove that, there's pretty much no or minimal cleanup to do at the end. So I do believe I will go back to using the latex. And now I just have to go back in and clean up around the nails because I do have some blue in there. So let me do that quickly. Okay, so now that all the latex is out of the way, I am using this Extreme Wear Nail Polish by Sally Hansen, and this does not have a name. Actually, I'm looking for a name for you guys. Oh, here it is. It's called Fly Away. So if you look at it carefully, it's like a peach color, but there's that nice mother of pearl look on it. And I've noticed when I put this one over the nail polish here, it really popped out. So I'm gonna apply this first and then go back when I'm done and do one application of my fast drying polish. And that's what I'm talking about. If you could see how that just pops right out, it almost really brings it out. There it is here with the polish finish. I'll have to see if I can get you a nice picture at the end for this. But as you can see, it's very flat on this nail compared to this one. So let me continue applying this to the next couple nails. Alright guys, so here I am applying the top coat and finishing up with the top coat. I just wanted to let you guys know that don't forget when you're applying a top coat after your manicures with the images on it, especially, you don't want to swipe over those images twice. And also it helps to have a nice thick top coat. If for some reason you cannot find that, make sure that brush is loaded with your top coat, because that really does make a difference. If you go in and you press too hard with a thin top coat, you will definitely smear those images that you just worked so hard on. So it's always nice to go light but load your brush up. Make sure that you have a nice thick layer. That's why I use the fast drying stuff. I really do like this fast drying top coat. It really works, and it is nice and thick as well, so that helps. So now that that's done, let me clean up and I'll be right back. And that's it guys. Here we have the finished manicure, and you could see it a lot better now. And as you could see, the image is definitely like a snake pattern, which I was shooting for, so I nailed it on that one there. And also you can use different base color. I have tried this with a more gold background as well, and it came out very pretty. I did try it with black stamp and polish, but it kind of popped out a little bit too much, and I personally didn't like that look. That's why I went and I stamped on brown, and I prefer this. That's just my taste. I just prefer this a little bit more than the black on the on the more goldish color, but that was definitely something you can try if you're into those colors, and that came out very, very nice as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video tonight, and as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to write to me. I'll answer them as best as I can. Don't forget to subscribe for my upcoming videos, and thank you very much for watching tonight, guys. Have a good night now. Bye bye.